Sofia is one of Europe's oldest capitals, with over 7,000 years of history packed into a city where ruins, churches, mosques, grand buildings and modern boulevards all sit side by side. In this video, we'll show you how we spent 2 amazing days in Sofia, exploring its historical landmarks, tasting local food, and taking a day trip out to the famous Rila Monastery. On day 1, we started our morning the Bulgarian way with Banitsa, a flaky pastry filled with cheese. From there, we walked over to the Red Flat, a unique museum we had to book in advance. It's an apartment that recreates a family's life in the 1980s, during the final years of Bulgaria's communist regime. Here, you can see, touch, wear, and flip through the details of everyday life under late communism, from ration cards and state-controlled TV, to the quiet through or secretly listening to Western music. Visitors move through the apartment with 46 short audio stories, each tied to a different corner of the home. The narrations are really well done, and together with the exhibits, paint a tangible picture of the times and the subtle ways people pushed back, all leading up to Bulgaria's post-communist shift. For only €9, it's a must-do when you're in Sofia. After the Red Flat, we headed to Vitosha Boulevard, a pedestrian street lined with elegant architecture. During the socialist period, it featured state-run shops and cafes. Now, it's a great place to people watch, grab a drink, and soak in Sofia's atmosphere. Walking down the street, we stumbled onto the National Palace of Culture, one of the city's largest examples of communist-era architecture. Opened in 1981 to mark the 1300th anniversary of Bulgaria's founding, it's a venue for concerts, exhibitions, and cultural events. If you're interested in more architecture from Bulgaria's socialist period, the Largo is another essential stop. Designed to project power and order, there are an ensemble of 3 socialist classicism buildings surrounding Independence Square. Nearby stands the monument of Saint Sofia, which replaced the statue of Lenin. Yet another dying remnant of Sofia's past are Kleks, basement kiosks that were once common across the city. This is the St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, a Bulgarian Orthodox church built in the Neo-Byzantine style. Completed in the early 20th century, it is one of the largest Christian churches in the world, built to honor Russian soldiers from the Russo-Turkish War. The church's golden and green dome stand out beautifully, while the front of the church seems to be a space for community events. For lunch, we wanted something local, so we stepped into a casual eatery reminiscent of a Polish milk bar. Everything was in Bulgarian and the place was filled with locals. Despite not knowing the language, we managed to order something delicious in the way homemade food is. After lunch, we wandered into the KvARTal neighborhood, a quirky pocket of Sofia where arty cafes flourish and the street art scene thrives. Colorful murals and bold graffiti are everywhere, giving the area a creative, offbeat vibe. If you are simply walking around Sofia, you'll also spot some interesting looking buildings. One is Ivan Vazov National Theatre, a beautiful example of neo-Baroque architecture and Sofia's most famous theatre. Named after Bulgaria's national writer, it comes complete with a long fountain to remind you just how grand it is. Another is the gorgeous church of St. Nicholas the Wonderworker, built in the Russian Revival style. Once home to a vibrant Russian community, Sofia still keeps the church as a reminder of its historical ties with Russia. A few minutes away is the St. Sofia Church from the 6th century, one of the city's oldest surviving structures. It was part of Serdica, an important city in the Roman Empire, and features underground ruins. Next to it stands an eternal flame for Bulgarian soldiers who died protecting their homeland. If you want to see more of Serdica, head towards the center of the city. It's free to explore and showcases its ancient ruins, including streets, walls, and foundations from Roman times. Part of it can actually be found in the metro station. A living piece of Roman Serdica still standing is the ancient Church of St. George, a working church. Built in the early 4th century, it began as Roman baths and was later converted into a Christian church. Near the archaeological reserve lies the Square of Tolerance, where a cathedral, church, mosque, and synagogue stand side by side, symbolizing Sofia's tradition of religious harmony. Just a short walk away, we came across the central bath fountain, where hot mineral springs bubble up at 46 degrees Celsius. We noticed plenty of locals filling bottles to take the water home, so we did it too. FYI, the water doesn't taste super tasty. The actual bathhouse is now a museum and mixes Viennese Secession style with Byzantine and Bulgarian revival touches, a nod to Sofia's layered history. From here, we walk to the Central Market Hall, a historic building opened in 1911. Inside is a supermarket where we came to buy Bulgaria's famous yogurt. Known for its unique probiotic strains, it's prized for both its taste and health benefits. Just look for the Bulgarian flag to be sure you're getting Bulgarian yogurt. Our day ended with a simple dinner, looking forward to tomorrow's highlight, a day trip to the famous Rila Monastery. Yesterday, we had booked a group transport to visit Rila Monastery, about 120 kilometers away in the Rila Mountains. It takes about 2 hours to get there, so in the middle, our bus stopped at a takeaway to grab lunch. I recommend doing this, as there doesn't seem to be any food options at the monastery aside from a bakery. Rila Monastery is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Bulgaria's largest and most famous monastery. It was founded in the 10th century by St. John of Rila, the country's patron saint. Known for his spiritual discipline, his relics are still preserved here. The monastery is now an important center of Bulgarian Orthodox Christianity, with monks continuing to live here. While here, the beautiful frescoes all over the walls are the major highlight, featuring scenes from the Bible, including the life of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, and various saints. Near the entrance of Rila Monastery is a small but well-known bakery run by the monks with a small menu. Their most popular treat is Mekitsa, a traditional fried pastry. Hot out of the oven and dusted with powdered sugar. It tastes pretty good and it's a nice snack after exploring the monastery. Boyana Church is a popular place to visit with a trip to Rila Monastery. This small medieval church from the 13th century is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. However, with the small size of the church and the 10-minute time limit, we felt the 12 left entry fee wasn't for us. When choosing where to stay in Sofia, there's plenty of budget options even in the city center. We chose this affordable apartment near the Central Market Hall, making most attractions within walking distance, which helps to save on transport costs. However, if you want to be near the nightlife, staying around Vitosha Boulevard will be a better fit. Plovdiv is another favorite day trip from Sofia, but it has a very different feel, from cobblestone streets to Roman theaters and a charming old town. Check out our next video on Plovdiv now.